Did you know Michelle Gray, a physiologist and professor of exercise science at the University of Arkansas, says that I work primarily with older adults who are trying to build and/or maintain muscle throughout their lifespan. And really, how that happens is you use it or lose it. It's truly disheartening when I hear older patients say things like, "I just assumed my pain was part of getting old, so I didn't really mention it." Or, "I was worried the doctor would just tell me it's arthritis and put me on strong pills." Or even, "I figured there wasn't much that could be done, so I just try to bear it." These statements are so far from the truth. They're rooted in common misconceptions, and sadly, I know some healthcare professionals might also inadvertently perpetuate these myths. Today, I want to dedicate our time to understanding sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and function, and answer some of the frequently asked questions I receive about it. We'll debunk some of these harmful myths surrounding muscle loss in seniors, and my hope is to leave you with a more empowered and optimistic outlook, one where older adults understand they absolutely do not have to simply accept muscle weakness and its consequences as an inevitable part of aging. Let's really delve into sarcopenia today and equip ourselves with knowledge and hope. To illustrate what happens as we age, think about looking at a cross-section of a younger adult's thigh. What you typically see is that the muscle tissue occupies the vast majority of the space, with the bone nestled in the center. Now, picture the thigh of a 70-year-old individual who is the same weight and height as that younger adult. The image would likely be quite different. You'd probably see that much of the space is now taken up by fat tissue, while the actual muscle size has significantly reduced. This loss of muscle mass and strength is precisely what we call sarcopenia. The consequences of sarcopenia can be truly significant and can have a profound impact on an individual's life. These can include an increased risk of falls, a noticeable reduction in overall physical capacity, the development of disability in performing everyday tasks, an increased likelihood of experiencing depression, reduced participation in social activities, and a general decrease in the enjoyment of life. So, today, I want to address some of the common questions that people ask me about sarcopenia. Ways to stay strong as you age. You don't have to lose strength and energy as you get older. We'll explore, how can you tell if you might have sarcopenia? What are some of the early signs? How is sarcopenia actually diagnosed by healthcare professionals? Are there specific tests involved? Is it possible to prevent sarcopenia from happening in the first place, even as we age? Once sarcopenia has developed, can we actually reverse it and rebuild muscle mass? Perhaps even getting closer to the muscle mass we had in our younger years. What treatment options are currently available for managing sarcopenia? And finally, how can we best support a loved one who is showing signs of or has been diagnosed with sarcopenia? So, let's really dive into the details and talk about sarcopenia today. Interestingly, in 2016, sarcopenia was officially recognized as a disease entity by the International Classification of Diseases, specifically under version 10. This formal recognition underscores the significant health implications of this age-related loss of muscle mass and function. As the global population continues to age, which in many ways is a wonderful testament to advancements in healthcare and longevity, we are also seeing a growing number of individuals seeking medical care due to the various consequences of sarcopenia. One of the earliest and most noticeable signs of sarcopenia is often a gradual decline in overall muscle strength. The second common sign of sarcopenia is persistent fatigue. Individuals might start to feel unusually exhausted even during routine daily activities that were once easily manageable. This isn't just the occasional tiredness we all experience. It's often a more general sense of exhaustion that doesn't necessarily improve with rest. They might also notice specific muscles feeling tired more quickly during tasks that involve repetitive movements, such as kneading bread dough, gardening, washing the car, or even pushing a shopping cart through the grocery store. This fatigue can significantly impact their ability to participate in daily activities with energy and enthusiasm, often leading them to withdraw from social interactions and hobbies they once enjoyed. The third telltale sign of sarcopenia is a noticeable decline in physical performance. This can manifest in various ways, including poorer coordination, difficulties with balance, and increasing mobility issues. Someone with sarcopenia might find that they can no longer maintain their balance as easily while walking or standing. They might have trouble with reaching for things on shelves or turning their body with the same ease and precision as before. These everyday activities that we often take for granted can become quite challenging. Okay, the fourth sign that can indicate sarcopenia is a change in body shape and composition. This often becomes noticeable and involves a loss of overall muscle mass, which is frequently accompanied by an increase in body fat. Individuals might observe a decrease in the bulk and definition of their muscles, particularly in their arms, legs, and abdominal area. This loss of muscle can give them an appearance of increased frailty or a less toned physique. It's also quite common for fat tissue to accumulate, which can unfortunately exacerbate the feelings of fatigue and weakness associated with the muscle loss. So, can a doctor actually diagnose sarcopenia? Are there specific tests that can be ordered? Healthcare professionals in certain specialties such as physical medicine and rehabilitation, physiatry, neurology, geriatric medicine, and sometimes even primary care physicians who have specific training in this area are able to assess whether a person has sarcopenia through a comprehensive physical assessment. During this assessment, they will observe the individual's body composition, looking for signs of muscle wasting or weakness. They will also assess their posture, gait, the way they walk, and may measure their waist circumference and calculate their body mass index, BMI. Now, let's get to a really important question. Can sarcopenia be prevented? The answer is a resounding yes. We all lose some muscle mass when we're hospitalized for even a few weeks. It's a natural consequence of inactivity and illness. However, if we compare two seniors of the same age, weight, height, and gender, where one has maintained good muscle mass and the other has sarcopenia, the one with more muscle at baseline will typically lose less muscle during hospitalization and will recover their strength and function more quickly afterwards. So, in a way, you need to be in good physical shape to better withstand the stresses of illness. Think of it as preparing for rainy days when the sun is shining. We know that individuals typically reach their peak muscle mass in early adulthood, in their 20s, and they generally maintain this muscle mass until around the age of 40. After that, the process of sarcopenia begins, with a more substantial rate of decline, often starting in the 5th decade of life. While some degree of sarcopenia is a normal part of aging, its significant impact on health and function led to its recognition as a disease in 2016, largely because we now understand that it can often be prevented and, to some extent, treated. Okay, so let's get back to the question. How can we prevent sarcopenia? Here are 5 key tips for anyone entering their 40s and beyond. Engage in regular exercise, especially resistance training. Participating in regular physical activity, and particularly focusing on resistance training or strength training exercises, is absolutely essential for preventing sarcopenia. Resistance training involves using weights, resistance bands, or your own body weight to challenge your muscles and stimulate growth and maintenance. This type of exercise helps to increase muscle mass, strength, and endurance, thereby significantly reducing the risk of muscle loss associated with aging. Aim for at least 2 strength training sessions per week, targeting all major muscle groups. Maintain an adequate protein intake. Protein is the fundamental building block of muscle tissue, and insufficient protein intake over time can significantly contribute to muscle loss. All adults, and especially those over 40, should aim to include high-quality protein sources in their daily diet. These include lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy products, like Greek yogurt and milk, legumes, beans and lentils, nuts, and seeds. While there isn't a strict consensus in the scientific literature on the exact amount of protein needed to optimally prevent age-related muscle loss, a good general recommendation is around 1.6 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. So, for someone weighing 60 kilograms, this would translate to roughly 96 to 108 grams of protein per day. This protein can come from animal sources like eggs, milk, meat, fish, and poultry, or from processed animal protein sources like whey and casein protein powders. There are also many excellent plant-based protein sources, such as soybeans, peanuts, nuts, seeds, and wheat-based products. It's really important to consult with your physician, especially if you have any underlying chronic kidney or liver disease, as in these cases, there might be limitations on the amount of protein you can safely consume per day. Therefore, once a person is diagnosed with sarcopenia, the current primary treatment approach involves the same fundamental lifestyle interventions that we discussed for prevention: structured exercise programs, optimizing nutrition with an adequate intake of high-quality protein, actively avoiding a sedentary lifestyle by incorporating regular physical activity into daily routines, ensuring proper hydration, and prioritizing sufficient sleep quality. These foundational strategies remain the cornerstone of managing sarcopenia and maximizing muscle health and function as we age. If you're finding this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to this channel and turning on the notification button so you'll be alerted whenever I post new videos on topics like this. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope this information has been helpful and has shed some light on sarcopenia. Goodbye for now.